The new Broadway staging of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel is the most honored musical revival at this year's Tony Awards, earning 11 nominations in total. Among that tally are 5 nods for the show's stars: Jessie Mueller and Joshua Henry as ill-fated lovers Julie and Billy, Lindsay Mendez and Alexander Gemigani as sardine sweethearts Carrie and Enoch, and opera icon Renée Fleming as Nettie Fowler, who delivers the stirring You'll Never Walk Alone. We recently gathered the talented fivesome for a photo shoot and also sat them down for a quick chat about the everlasting power of this 73-year-old classic. We are sitting with, oh my God, 5 Tony nominees in one show. That's crazy. That doesn't happen all the time.
On 2 couches.
So first of all, congratulations. That's nuts.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And some first timers.
This couch, the red couch. Oh, we'll tell you everything you need to know. Thanks, you guys.
I love this show. This is my favorite classic musical. I always say this. Carousel is #1 for me. Is being great in a great musical sort of easier?
When it's classic and you know it works, I think it lends itself to the personalities that can come and sort of reinterpret it, like a great Shakespeare or something like that. So,
and there's so much emotion built into the music right away, and people know a lot of the music, so their expectation is already high.
At the end of the storm is a golden sky.
Did you know the music?
All of it.
Yeah?
All of it. I did not know the show. I'd never seen it. Did you guys know it all?
I knew most of it, yeah, but I wasn't that familiar with the script. So to read it and then to see how all of this music that we all know so well fits into telling this incredible story, it was really cool for us to kind of like dive into it again, I think.
Mm-hmm. And fun to do something like this with people like this, because to me, it always defines my Julie is because of his Billy and her Carrie.
Right.
When you're in a room with the best of the best, it ups your game, and everybody just brings so much to it.
I think it actually says a lot that I've seen you play Carrie at Lincoln Center.
But now I can't imagine it any other way. Like Lindsay's Carrie to me. I just really, I really mean that though. I wouldn't be able to kind of redefine it in my brain anymore. It's always you, Lindsay.
I got in your head.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about the material that you actually, it's not so, you know, I'm a Julie, I'm a Carrie. It feels like you're able to lend yourself to these roles in a great way.
With all just like great respect to all of the productions of all the classic shows that have come before us, the trope of sort of the like kind of person who plays each role, I don't think Jack and Justin were interested in that so much. I think they were interested in community. Mm-hmm. And how do these people function together in a community, mm-hmm. and how do they not? Who are the people who don't function within the community or work their way in or work their way out? And I think if you take that lens on Carousel, you get this very sort of like deep tapestry of rich colors that these people live their lives with. And, you know, the resulting thing is like we all feel on stage there's this thing of like, I can't really imagine it another way, as Jessie was saying, because it feels ingrained, you know?
She's gotta be sheltered and fed and dressed in the best that money can buy. I never knew how to get money, but I'll try, by God, I'll try. I'll go out and make it, or steal it, or take it.
Josh, what is it like to sing a soliloquy every night?
It's incredible. I love a song like that, or If I Loved You, which was the first song in musical theater that I ever learned. If I Loved You.
If I loved you? Did you sing both parts?
I sang, I didn't even know there was another part. I sang the selection, which was just like, really,
like chorus, yeah,
yes.
like, yeah.
I loved you. Like you're saying, the material is so rich that it challenges you every night. For me, it just feels like you can't think about it. You know, that the intro starts and it's like skydiving. You're like, what are you can't just reach up to the plane again. You're already falling. Like, it's so much fun.
When Jack O'Brien, great director, who's directed so many amazing plays and musicals and classics and new works over the years, what was the mission when you started?
When I first talked to him, he really wanted to lean into the spiritual aspect of this piece.
It's the same conversation I had with him.
Yeah, and really the theme of redemption and what that means. And asking the questions about, do we get second chances? What does it mean to be loved? Like the adventure of that, the innocence of that, the purity of that, what that can be.
I loved you, time and again I've tried to say, all I want you to know.
he just kept saying over and over, he's like, let's ask the questions. Let's keep asking the questions. Because people know this well, let's not rely on that. Let's make sure we get to at every point, if we have a question, let's ask the question. Let's not just do it the way it's always been done, because that's how it's been done. To have a director that lets you do that and doesn't make you feel in the room that like you're wasting time. You know what I mean? But gives permission for that kind of work.
And it built so much trust between us. I feel like there just isn't a moment that we haven't all discussed together. And so we can all serve the piece rather than serving ourselves.
I think that unlocks a real non-precious way to view something that you could potentially try to hold with kid gloves and miss the sort of like deeper heart of a thing. And so ironically, by not being precious with it and being able to like blow the dust aside and ask all the questions you want to ask, you honor it in a much, for me, like a much truer way.
It's authentic that way.
And it can handle it. The piece can handle it. It's like the more we dug into it, the more we opened it up, I feel like the more we found. It's not like you open it up and there's just not the depth to be found. It's there.
Were there any specific moments that were challenging for any of you or exciting to work on in the rehearsal room?
I'll never forget the first time we started going into the bench scene.
I was so nervous.
I
was like, let's not work on it.
I didn't know. I was like, we got time.
I was like, we got time, right? We can just crack that one open like a week. Everybody loves the song. There'll be a bench.
The twists and turns in that piece are so intricate, and trying to find them truthfully.
Yeah.
You know, I remember we got into the room and we were sort of sitting this close to each other.
Oh, I know.
And we were doing the scene just like this, and it felt great. And then we had to sing. And there was this big divide between the performance volume and the intimacy of the scene.
Right. Yeah.
And it took so long to find what that was and for that to feel.
Yeah, the balance of that, I think.
Yeah. So.
We reblocked that how many times?
I don't know.
We're on like version 12.5.
Yeah. You know what else was hard was the stuff with the three women. With you.
Yes, that's true.
Calling when we would hold Julie to task about her relationship with Billy.
Yeah.
Both those moments between the three of us, we worked so much. Remember that scene?
That's true.
Yep.
And then also, what's the use of
Nettie's
wondering?
cottage and
Right.
Like we have an obligation in I think 2018 to like make sure we're saying, you know, the right thing with holding Julie up and also, you know, calling her out. I think, and it took us till probably the last preview to figure some of that stuff out.
Yeah, making sure the women, I think, were authentic.
Yes, and strong.
And complex. And
yeah.
I was so stunned in the preview process, completely stunned. I just assumed a classical piece like this had been around for 75 years. What are you going to do? You're just going to do it as well as you can. No. Things were added and cut and added again and moved around, and things were reblocked 5 times. It was extraordinary. And in the end, people who I know who came early on in the previews who then saw it later just said they could not believe the difference and how much more exciting it was.
I first was introduced to the power of this show many years ago, and I love any opportunity to see a new version of it and a new cast do it. And it's sort of undeniable. What is it like for you on stage to be in something that you know has that?
Why do you love it, Paul? I'm curious.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
It moves me. It's so tremendously. I mean,
because of its sort of epic nature or the depth of it or a combination? Like, what do you think it is?
I'm just a moderator here. No.
Like, we're literally interested. I guess the reason I'm asking that question, to me, part of the beauty is that I can't tell you why. I can't define it. It is bigger than one person. It's even bigger than a group. I think it's about tapping into something very deep and very human and very innate and very complex about what it's like to spend your time on this planet.
And thinking about the people who leave you, who are still looking out for you, that we all hope for that, I think.
The idea that you're not alone.
And so getting to see a piece about that, and there's that, and then there's this score, which is like, when that prologue starts, it's like, it's overwhelming, the sound of what they made. And I just think all of it together makes, it's magic.
One more thing, is there any other show you can all imagine doing together?
Yes, we've already talked
We've
about
talked about it.
We talked about Guys and Dolls.
Yes.
We talked about Guys and Dolls. What was the other one we were talking about the other day?
Yes.
Oh, Calcutta.
Nope. She wasn't it.
Well, you're going to be doing Carousel for a while, so I'm thrilled. And it's at the Imperial Theater, and everyone needs to go see it. And thank you all for being here.
Thank
You bet,
you.
Paul. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.